Hi everyone, welcome to the Trim Poetry Festival 2021 launch of my poetry chapbook, Drawn to the Light. I'm Orla Fay. The chapbook has its origins in the first lockdown of last year, and it contains many of my younger poems and a couple more recent. I made the video over the last few days and I really enjoyed doing it, so I hope you enjoy watching it. I heard somebody on the radio saying the other day how healing poetry and writing can be, and I suppose for me that's been the case because I've always found great solace in writing, how it makes you stop and think and just sit with yourself, and I should probably do more of that. And I suppose that's why the chapbook is called Drawn to the Light, because everything inevitably is drawn to the light. That's the sun, physically, biologically, spiritually. So I hope you enjoy these few poems, and I'm wishing you love and light. Take care.
Through winter cloud, dim sunlight, the bulb underground. The natural order. I start the year with care for what is small, the black beetle caught in the threads of my glove, warrior having survived the night, experienced the trauma in freeing him or her or it, 10 minutes or more spent in surgery, and I never want to be a spider. I suppose that yes, there must be death, that this is the universal law, best make my peace with it now. Yet I balked in finding fledglings on the roadside, their tiny, almost weightless bodies just not managing to fly. How I lament those who are this sacrifice, the could-have-beens. I ushered to a leafy grass and hedgerow pyre, that when the sun sets or rises the next day, the cleansing by fire, the ashes to ashes, dust to dust, the earth giveth and taketh away. Realise that the great bounty of spring must have its casualties. The murder of crows know this, feeding on the freshly ploughed fields, see that the land is life to their skies, as do the worms, soil eaters and keepers know that the mother provides mealy moments of subterranean artistry before the farmer's hand. Pluto's hidden stars. All is silent in the countryside in anticipation, where a watching child holds her breath. Alone in the frosted night, Pluto's mindset is fogged and closing. Between the villages, cars travel, their headlights search through thick air. Wipers swish moisture. Behind trees there is a bogeyman. Dogs bark. Pluto has taken all the stars and hidden the moon in the loneliness of falling to sleep. In the morning, ridden away, a cold dawn wakes. In his trail, a scattering of daffodil heads, unfound, hidden stars. Night aria. There is a dancing flame, there is a girl with a heart, there is a birth, there is an earthy name, and I'm floating down the river that goes on and on and on. I'm drifting along, and I'm sleeping on the grass where the night air is cool, where the stars are cooling in velvet. Before long I'll be dreaming. I'll be in your heart like an old jaded song. I am empty to be quiet, silent to be heard, lost to find or to be found. There is no image wide enough. I am humbled by the profound. She saw Venus. She saw Venus undressed, her skin pale as the dawn, her breasts swollen as the moon. Her heart the morning star in Anna Ishtar, the Greek Aphrodite and Roman goddess, Catholic shining queen of heaven. Today she looks for love and sees cherry blossoms perfectly pink, penciled like hearts on trees. Evening star too, forlorn in the garden, she steps from Botticelli's shell, born from angel's breath to the loveliness of woman. John Keats' Ghost. I have an habitual feeling of my real life having passed, and that I am leading a posthumous existence. Keats's last letter to Charles Armitage Browne, the 30th of November, 1820. John Keats's ghost came to me as I watched the sun set on the April day, unspooling itself in a glory of yellow. It was strange to see him, but he said that he remembered me from when I was 15, when I recited Ode to a Nightingale and those other poems in the anthology we read for the curriculum. Bright Star, La Belle Dame Sans Merci, Ode to a Grecian Urn, and On the Sea. He had been looking over my shoulder when I wrote notes in pencil on the side of the page, something about art being able to overcome the transience of life. He said he liked that because, look at him now, a pale spectre, while his poetry is still renowned. Keats resembled a black and white photograph, except he held a brimming purple glass of wine as he reclined against the windowsill. I told him that I thought that it was sad that he died so young. He recounted his final year, the arterial blood of tuberculosis, the stormy journey across the Med to Naples, the reaching of Rome too late, the warm weather being gone, and his chance to live. I said to him when he had finished, "John, I'm sorry. It was a cruel blow. I mean, you were only 25, right? But like you said, your work lives on. Your words touch and influence people." At that he looked up and grinned. It was a lovely grin, wide and hopeful. He seemed to find some peace in himself, and he turned his back to me and walked right out into the sky, into the last flares of the sun, tapering out like a black, burnt piece of paper. I was glad to meet him, claimed the first silver star for us, and wished that I always be haunted by beauty. How the West is won. The cowboy looked like the Lone Ranger, Billy the Kid, or Wyatt Earp. Shiny badge pinned to brown suede waistcoat, black Stetson pointed tip down as he flung away a cigar. Everyone wanted to be like him. On his left hip a holster from which he pulled a silver, heavy Colt Peacemaker, the Colt 45, the gun that won the West. What hope did my Sioux friend have, his long raven hair blowing on the prairie? He carried a tomahawk on his belt, a bow and arrow slung across his back. He wore feathers in his hair, ate hunted buffalo, and wore buffalo hide in winter. The wolf ran with him under the full moon. The fish in the streams came to the softness of his hands. Drawn to the light. As we sing the alphabet, making phonetic sounds, each letter a note to later piece a word in the music of language, the nature table emerges, on which rest tulips in a paintbrush holder, seashells from Laytown and Arklow, and pheasant feathers carefully plucked, the birds shot down in Beliver that roamed the bogs and walked the roads in pairs, adding to the dull colour. On the wall there are maps of the continents and of the bright solar system. By the mirror, a poster of butterfly and moth varieties. Hope is in the daffodil painted upon the window pane, prematurely done in a bid to lure spring. On the pivot of the weather we are dependent. By midday, without rain, we go outside to sunshine, caught between walking and running, when once we were oblivious to the hairy caterpillar climbing the shed whitewash.